today we're gonna go check out a brewery that was started by 4 home brewers. So I really like the guys there, and luckily they're giving us a chance to go check it out, get some shots, and interview one of the owners. I was really fascinated as like a home brewer myself of the whole story of you guys going from home brew to professional brewer. I think it's super neat and inspiring, and I know that it wasn't just you alone. So could you maybe like walk me through a little bit of how that happened?
Oh, in a fast forward version, I mean, I was home brewing for quite a few years, and I ended up meeting Will on my day job. I worked there periodically, and we got to know each other, and he found out that I, made beer on the weekends. So he was interested and had a few of my home brews and liked them. I was like, let me check it out. So we ended up just making beer on the weekends. It's just something we did. We just kept doing it every weekend, and pretty much we drank everything we made. And it was just a fun hobby, experimenting. The craft beer scene was going crazy then. So we kept doing that, and we brought on a couple other friends, which would be Sean and Kenny. And we were like 2 different homebrew groups, and then we would make like beers together and then make beers separate. And we ended up getting a system and worked in my garage for a few years there. And then we always would talk, what if? And we watched Madcap open, we watched Arshay's do it and open. So we started talking with the banks, and we hit a few bumps there along our first venture because we really did not know what we were doing. And we further just talked with some more people, got educated, and found a better location, just moved forward. But it was an everyday thing, and for years, it was about a year, we just worked on the idea, concept, business plan. None of us knew how to write one, so we had to go to different classes and do a lot of research, and finally came up with a decent business plan, and then got shot down a lot. Reworked the business plan, got approved by the SBA, and then we finally got approved by a bank. And so we started small, and we had a 10-year plan, and we passed that 10-year plan in about year 3 or 4. So the business just kept growing, and we just kept adding as we needed. We found, hey, we need a couple more tanks. We cannot make enough volume of just what people are consuming here. It's a good problem to have, and COVID was tough. That was kind of a surprise. Didn't see that one coming when you're about a year and 3 months old.
Yeah, it was like right before COVID you guys had opened
But
up.
I think COVID's what really solidified us with Akron. I mean, there was really, there was no reason for people to come to the city. Everything was shut down. Everybody was staying at home. We had people coming every day for canned beer and to-go pizzas, to-go food. So that's where we sort of realized that the community and people wanted us here. And we just kept hammering at it, and got through COVID. Finally, was allowed to start having people back in. Other than that, I think it's going to be successful. I mean, we're here. It looks like we're here to stay. We've really upped the food game. We're up in the beer game, working on packaging and outside distribution now. So, we're slowly doing it, but we're doing it. So that's kind of what we got to do instead of going too fast and then not being able to keep up with it, or overshooting what you thought you could do and not being able to afford it. We're always trying to enhance the customer experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's easy just to go to a place and, have your favorite beer and food. But it's a lot better if there's something else extra on top of that. So you got good beer, good food. Now we'll throw in trivia or live music, or just something to that effect. But I just want people to feel like coming here is more of, an experience than just going to get a bite to eat beer.
What is your personal favorite beer that you guys brew? Taste-wise, and then favorite beer to brew?
Taste-wise, it'd have to be the one I've constantly been working on, is Mango Rehab, because there's just so much to work with there, with the hops, and then the addition of the mango, and then habanero, which is different every time you get it, depending on where they came in from, what time of the year it is, and just trying to balance that heat and still being able to taste the pepper a little bit, but not having it overpower the beer itself. For beers to make, that would probably be anything in the Belgian or German style, just for the fact that it's just, the simplicity is what makes it so complicated. So it's a very easy, alcohol recipe, as in your grains and your hops, but then there's just so much to do on the cold side with fermentation and temperature management and just making sure everything finishes out the way it should, lagering it properly. So yeah, I really enjoy making the German-style beers, which to me are a little trickier than just making a massive hopped beer, which just has a bunch of different steps to it.
Mm-hmm. Are there any beers that you were brewing back in the garage that are still being brewed or worked on here?
Most of the ones we really liked in the garage, Winter Night Stout, Brutus, Langard, what else did we do in the garage? Those are all continuous beers. Mango Rehab was from the garage. I know Red Rum was Red Rum was an original, but that became Regulator, our red IPA, just because we toned down the alcohol in it. And so the Red Rum was the Imperial version. We made that once, and the lighter version seemed to sell a little bit quicker. So that's kind of what we're looking for, is beers that like move and move well. And it's great having, the bigger beers, which we do, but, a 12%er doesn't move as fast as, say, like a 5.5%er.
Yeah, you have to have that business mind with it, too.
Finding a nice balance. Plus, we always want variety. I love the Belgians as much as I love the sours, as much as I love the IPAs. So every beer has its reason out there. It's just having a good variety all the time. So we keep an Irish Red on all year long, just because that's one of my favorite styles. And it's just a good beer to have with food, just to have by itself.
Yeah, it's a good all-year beer.
Yeah, it's a good all-year beer, but there's certain beers you only get for like little periods too. So like our Mexican lager, that comes out, more or less around May for Cinco de Mayo, and then late summertime we bring it out again with the barrel-aged version. So it's always trying to keep a good rotation of stuff, but always trying to keep stuff. But homebrew recipes, most of the ones that we really liked homebrewing that we made consistently are actual recipes here. And there's a couple that haven't even changed from the homebrew recipe.
Wow, you guys are brewing some good homebrews.
Maybe 2 of them worked out like that, where the switch over just worked perfect, and we haven't messed with it. But
that's impressive.
Yeah, other than like Mango Rehab, that's probably went through 30 some different variations now. Just about every time here, there's little tweaks just to try to get it back to, every time it comes out the same, but you always got to tweak a little bit here and there. So it's keeping good notes too in everything you did.
Yeah, very cool. It's really cool to hear how much really goes into that behind closed doors. The average person just goes to a brewery, grabs a beer, and orders a sandwich or a pizza or
whatever goes into making that beer 10 times goes into cleaning the equipment that made that beer. So it's that the majority is sanitation and cleanliness. So that's where I spend most of my time, is either cleaning, fixing, repairing, making sure everything's working. We'll brew usually 2 to 3 times a week, and it could be an all-day thing, but most of the time it's, maybe 6-7 hours when we're out, everything's back cleaned, ready to go again.